Recibí algunas faltas.
Van dat voetbal moeten wij het helemaal niet hebben. We moeten het van goed positiespel hebben.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 craziest fouls in soccer history.
Amidst the chaos was one rash moment that is forever remembered as one of the most shocking challenges on a football pitch.
For this list, we're looking at some of the worst tackles in football/soccer of all time that left us horrified. We'll also explore what happened afterward. Who's the toughest tackler in the sport? Let us know below. Number 10. Paul Boesvelt on Dennis Irwin. In 1997, Feyenoord hosted Manchester United in a group game for the Champions League.
I was just going to say Cole's made it again. Hat-trick for Cole. Brilliant.
With United up 3-0 in the 80th minute from an Andy Cole hat-trick, Dutch midfielder Boesvelt let his frustrations out in the worst way possible. As Irwin passed the ball, Boesvelt put his studs into the side of the defender's knee. United manager Sir Alex Ferguson was livid on the sidelines, and rightly so. Not only wasn't Boesvelt sent off, but he didn't even get a yellow card before being subbed shortly after the horror challenge. Irwin suffered from ruptured medial ligaments, which ruled him out of World Cup qualifiers for the Republic of Ireland. After seeing replays of the tackle, Boesvelt apologized to Irwin, which the Irishman accepted. Number 9. Andoni Goikoetxea on Diego Maradona. When facing the best player in the world, one tactic is to intimidate them. Usually, this would be shirt-pulling or trash-talking. Well, Athletic Bilbao center-back Goikoetxea took it to the extreme as his side faced a Maradona-led Barcelona side in 1983. With the Argentine getting the ball, Goikoetxea slid in from behind, striking Maradona's ankle and breaking it.
El mateix jugador basc que havia lesionat Schuster va envestir Maradona a Barcelona a la quarta jornada i l'Argentina.
This tackle, which was basically assault, was slammed by the Spanish media. Goikoetxea earned the nickname the Butcher of Bilbao, and he was suspended for 10 games. In 1984, the animosity between the sides erupted again in the Copa del Rey final, when Maradona fought with Bilbao and Goikoetxea before his teammates joined in, causing a mass brawl.
Ya hay un enzarzamiento general, ahí lo ven ustedes, de Maradona con varios jugadores del Atlético.
Number 8. Ben Thatcher on Pedro Mendes. Welsh left-back Thatcher would have been more at home in the UFC than on a soccer pitch. After already getting in trouble for elbowing Nicky Summerbee in 2000, you'd hope that he would have learned from his attack. But no. In 2006, while playing for Manchester City against Portsmouth, he repeated his previous attack. As Portsmouth's Mendes ran to get to the ball, Thatcher came charging in and elbowed the Portuguese player in the face, knocking him out and sending him crashing into the advertisement boards.
Mendes, oh dear.
Now
yes.
I've seen it again, he's late.
That was an ugly challenge.
Mendes needed oxygen at the pitch side and suffered a seizure. He thankfully recovered. Thatcher was only initially booked for his brutality, but City banned him for 6 games along with a fine, while the FA later suspended Thatcher for 8 matches.
Away from the pitch, you couldn't meet a nicer lad than Ben. But on the field, he is capable of those things, and what he did tonight was horrendous. It was totally out of order.
Number 7. Axel Witsel on Marcin Wasilewski. Witsel has been seen as a creative midfielder throughout his career, not for horrifying challenges that left opponents in immense pain. But that was the case in 2009. On that fateful day, Witsel's Standard Liège took on Anderlecht. With the ball loose, the Belgian player tried to beat Wasilewski to the prize. Instead, with a massive lapse in judgment, Witsel put his weight on the Polish defender's outstretched leg, visually snapping it in an instant. With Anderlecht players and coaches erupting in anger, the ref unsurprisingly sent off Witsel. Afterward, the Belgium FA, the KNVB, suspended Witsel for 8 games after an appeal, while Wasilewski had surgery to repair his fractured tibia and fibula. Number 6. Ryan Shawcross on Aaron Ramsey. In 2010, Welsh international Ramsey was one of the hottest prospects in the sport for Arsenal.
Space maybe for Ramsey, he's in here, Aaron Ramsey all the way!
But his potential took a battering when his side faced Stoke City in the Premier League. With a 50-50 challenge, Shawcross and Ramsey both went for the ball. However, an error in judgment by the Stoke defender caused him to kick into the Welshman's legs. Immediately, it was obvious some severe damage had been done.
He's in real trouble here. Aaron Ramsey on the ground. Ryan Shawcross gets a red card.
Both sets of players looked distraught at what had happened. Shawcross was shown a straight red and left the pitch in tears. Ramsey had broken his tibia and fibula.
Physically is as well as you can be when you have a broken leg. The first signs are good. Mentally is very down, of course. It's difficult to take. He was just coming into the team.
It took until 2013, after a couple of loan moves to gain match fitness, for him to return fully to the Arsenal first team. Number 5. Benjamin Massing on Claudio Caniggia. If you've ever played the beautiful game, sometimes you might get a bit frustrated as a skillful player makes your team look really bad as they dribble their way through the pitch. But the worst thing to do is let that annoyance consume you. Well, in Group B's first fixture at the 1990 World Cup, Cameroon had a surprise 1-0 lead against defending champions Argentina.
On the goal! Bianca scored!
As the ball came to winger Caniggia in his half, he ran rings around several Cameroon players as he aimed for their goal. Losing his balance after a seemingly bad challenge, Caniggia was still going. That was until defender Massing booted the Argentine so hard that his boot came off, earning himself a red card.
I think he has to, and he has. And you can't really argue with that one.
Number 4. Nigel de Jong on Xabi Alonso. The World Cup tends to bring out the best and worst in players. And for the Netherlands' de Jong, it was definitely the latter. Playing on a team dripping with talent, the Dutch faced an iconic Spain squad in the 2010 final.
Only the Netherlands and Spain are left with the chance to proclaim themselves champions of the world in 2010.
Only 28 minutes into the match, de Jong set the standard of the match, since there were 14 yellow cards and 1 red. As Alonso headed the ball, the then Man City midfielder decided to do what can only be described as some kind of karate move.
Salto Xavi que se queda solo ahí ante Van Bommel. Vaya.
He struck Alonso in the chest with his studs, leaving Spain's midfield general in pain. Shockingly, the referee, Howard Webb, only gave de Jong a yellow card, a move he later regretted once he saw the replay.
Pero sí que es cierto que cuando nosotros lo teníamos, pues se emplearon de forma dura, ¿no?
Het is wel helemaal geen plan om fysiek te spelen.
Number 3. Norbert Siegmann on Evad Linen. As far as the most graphic injuries in this video go, this one gets the gold prize. In 1981, in Germany's Bundesliga, Linen, playing for Arminia Bielefeld, descended towards Werder Bremen's box.
Match day 2 of the 1981-1982 season. Werder Bremen host Arminia Bielefeld, and 20 minutes into the game, Evad Linen is fouled.
But Siegmann had another idea and lunged in recklessly. Now, we don't know how sharp 80 studs were, but apparently very. A large 10-inch wound had formed on Linen's thigh. Somehow, the midfielder got up and argued with people on the sidelines.
But I do think that everyone who saw the incident close up can confirm that he was encouraged to be more aggressive with his foul.
With damage like that, Siegmann was sent off, right? Nope. He only got a yellow card for that horror. It took 23 stitches to repair the damage for Linen. Amazingly, he was back in training only 17 days after this tackle.
Some of them enter into a challenge knowing that the risk of injuring their opponent is high and try to get a sporting advantage through unfair play.
Number 2. Harald Schumacher on Patrick Battiston. The semi-final match between West Germany and France at the 1982 World Cup is seen as an action-packed classic bout. But this battle was very nearly tarnished by one idiotic incident.
However, no one had forecast just how highly charged it would be.
As Francis Battiston was bearing down on the German goal, he saw keeper Schumacher charging at him. And that was probably the last thing he remembered from that game. As Battiston's shot went wide, Schumacher violently collided with him.
Battiston found himself through on goal with only goalkeeper Harald Schumacher to beat.
Battiston could be in!
The defender was knocked unconscious, had 2 teeth knocked out, received 3 cracked ribs, and damaged his vertebrae. He received oxygen on the pitch and slipped into a coma. Battiston's teammates thought he had perished. Thankfully, he recovered. But even more shockingly, the ref didn't even give a foul, let alone send off Schumacher. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Roy Keane on Alfie Haaland. In 1997, a clash between Keane and Haaland while he was playing for Leeds United resulted in a torn anterior cruciate ligament for the Irishman. Not knowing the severity of the injury, the Norwegian screamed at him.
The Irishman aimed a trip at the Norwegian before stumbling and falling to the ground in agony. Haaland, on seeing Keane writhing on the floor, got to his feet, ran over to Keane before standing over and berating him.
Well, Keane doesn't let things go. In 2001, Manchester United and Manchester City faced off. During the match, Keane purposely missed the ball and stamped into Haaland's right leg, which struck his injured left.
Oh, Roy Keane on Haaland. David Ellery has a record of dismissing Roy Keane from the field of play.
While Keane was sent off, it was when he released his autobiography a year later that it got more dramatic. In it, he stated that he did the brutal tackle on purpose.
I'd waited long enough. I hit him hard. The ball was there, I think. Take that, you and don't ever stand over me sneering about fake injuries.
For that, Keane received a further ban and a fine. Haaland never really recovered from his already injured left knee and retired in 2003. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.